Okay, chapter 15. God's covenant with Abram. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward." But Abram said, "Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the hair of my house is Elsinore of Damascus?" Then Abram said, "Look, you have given me no offspring indeed. One born in my house is my heir. Uh, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own body shall be your heir." Then he brought him outside and said, "Look toward heaven, and count the stars if you are able to number them." And he said to him, "So shall be your descendants be." And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Then he said to him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of the Chaldeans to give you this land to inherit." And he said, "Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it?" So he said to him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." And then he brought all those to him and cut them in two, down the middle, and placed each piece opposite of the other. But he did not cut the birds in two. And when the vultures came down to the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Okay, so he was cutting them up and everything. Okay, so wait, go back. Okay, so you got a turtle dove and a pigeon, but he cut the pigeon down the middle, but he didn't cut the birds into two, but he cut everything else in two. Now when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, "Know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is theirs, that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them for hundreds, or than 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve I will judge. Afterwards they shall come out with great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace, and you shall be buried at a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall return here, for inquiry, so great grandkids, for the inquiry of the Amorites is not yet complete." And it came to pass, when the sun went down and it was dark, that behold, there appeared a smoking oven and burning torch that passed between those pieces. On the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, "To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Camoranines, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Ramphim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Gephrites, and the Jebusites." There's a name a bunch of groups now. Let's go back. He was talking about going childless, has no heir. Though the world came to him saying, "This one shall not be your heir, but they will come from your own body to be your heir." So, okay, this is confusing. It's like it's almost saying, first child of yours isn't going to be legitimate, but it's still going to be your heir. He's going to take things that does belong to him. So let's see, 15:4. from your own body. Esau was not a physical son of Abraham. God promised that Abraham himself would father a child, even in his advanced age. Okay, so he had a kid, but it wasn't his. It was like an adopted kid or something like that. That's what that's talking about. And looking up at the stars, only God could count the stars. That means saying the descendants of Abraham would be innumerable. Descendants translates the Hebrew word for seed. This word is used to the coming Messiah. Okay, so he's going to have one of his descendants is going to be Jesus Christ and everything. And the hair isn't by blood. That's what it is. It isn't by blood, but he's still going to take things over. Okay. And that's that for this video. One thing I wanted to say was that why didn't this God? Obviously, God came down and spoke to him. This is actually the extraterrestrial I'm talking about, okay? That he believes in. That he came down and physically said, hey, I'm here, I'm going to cut these animals up. He didn't cut the turtle dove or the pigeon, but he cut the heifer, the cow, the goat, and the ram. And the vultures came and were doing their thing of like, hey, food, dead animals, and everything. But like, what really happened to him afterwards? Like, they get eaten or something like that, but like, you just cut them in half. Like, did it really split them in half? And just like, there you go. Is it like an indication of you're going to have two lines? To me, that kind of indicates the future of like when he takes his concubine and has his physical relations with her, having children that way, which, from my understanding, comes out to be the Muslims' faith, Islamic faith, and then after his wife dies, he ends up remarrying later on, and he has children down the line that way, and that's the Jewish faith and all that.